These geometry questions will suck away your precious time if you let them. So let's not let them. In this video, I'm going to teach you an incredibly useful hack that will help you to solve these questions in under 30 seconds. Like, actually. The key to unlocking these questions is this right here, which represents a straight line, or the first dimension. At their simplest, we're being asked to take a line or a group of lines and scale it up to a similar shape using some sort of scale factor. So for example, if we had a little rectangle here, and then we said there's a similar rectangle, and then we were also given the information that this is 3 inches, and this is 9 inches, you should be able to tell that we are using a scale factor of 3 because 3 times 3 is 9, right? So for scale factor at the first dimension, let's just think of it as S. So S equals 3. And then because we know our scale factor for the first dimension, we can scale up anything else that has to do with the first dimension. So obviously, if we knew the side here, we would multiply it by 3. But also, if I said the perimeter for this smaller shape is 40, we could use our scale factor for that because the perimeter is just a bunch of straight lines. Everything is still in the first dimension. So keep in mind, first dimension is lines, perimeters, that would be circumference for circles, etc. Anything that has to do with the first dimension. So we would multiply that by 3, and we know that the perimeter for this one would simply be 120. But what if we're not dealing with a line? What if we're dealing with an actual square or rectangle, right? A whole surface. This is the second dimension. And the reason it's so important that we know the scale factor of the first dimension is that in order to get area of any given shape, whether it be the area of a square, the area of a circle, or even the surface area of a 3D shape, we're just going to need to take our scale factor for the first dimension and square it. So we can think of this as S squared. So let's go back to our example and complicate things a bit. So if we wanted to now bring this to the second dimension, we're still going to be able to use this. We're just going to have to manipulate it a bit. So if I said that the area for this smaller rectangle is 30, we're not going to be able to use the first dimension scale factor because area is now in the second dimension. But it's pretty straightforward. All we have to do is multiply this by S squared in order to represent the second dimension. So we would take 30S squared. S squared in this case is 3 squared, which is 9. 30 times 9 is 270. So the area for this big guy would be 270. Now, if you're still hanging out with me at the halfway point and you are definitely finding this useful, I have something way more useful for you. I've got a 90-minute live math workshop for the SAT designed especially for students who are trying to break 700. You can register using the link in the description. And if you do register, I'll be teaching you the same high-level strategies and hacks that have helped hundreds of students raise their math scores. You'll also have the opportunity to volunteer and solve questions live with me and get real-time feedback. Again, link is in the description. Go ahead and click that to register. Now, of course, we're not necessarily just dealing with lines and surfaces. There are occasionally questions on the SAT where we are asked to deal with 3D shapes, such as this cube. In order to get the scale factor for similar 3D shapes, we're going to take our scale factor for the first dimension, and in order to get to the third dimension, we're going to cube it. So we could think of this as S cubed. Let's go back to the example and complicate it even further. So I will attempt to draw a third dimension on our little example here, but let's basically say instead of these being rectangles, they are now rectangular prisms. Okay, that's pretty good. So now we have 3 dimensions, right? We have length times width times height. But the great thing is, as long as we have our scale factor at the first dimension, we don't need to learn anything else about these shapes. As long as they're similar, we can still project using the first dimension. And let's go backwards this time just to make it a little bit more complicated. But let's say that our volume our volume for this larger shape is 180. 180. That would be inches to the third power, right? So can you guess what we're going to do in order to get the volume for the smaller shape? If we wanted to go from little to big, we would simply take our scale factor cubed and we would multiply that. But since we're going backwards, it's going to be dividing by our scale factor cubed. So 180 divided by s cubed. And obviously in this case, s is 3. 3 cubed is 27, so that it would just be 180 divided by 27, which simplifies to 20 over 3. All right, now let's take all of this knowledge and very quickly solve one of these questions. So this question, for example, we get the information that our triangles are similar, so we know we're good to go ahead and use this trick. And it tells us the first dimension. It says each side length of ABC is 4 times the corresponding side length of DEF. So we know that our scale factor S equals 4. Now, this is a little bit tricky because it tells us the area of triangle ABC is 270. What's the area of triangle DEF? And if we're not careful, we might say, oh, well, I know what to do. 270 times S squared, and my area is 4,320. But we have to be careful. We have to make sure that we know which triangle is bigger and which triangle is smaller, right? It says that ABC is 4 times the length of DEF. So if ABC is 270, DEF is not the bigger triangle. We actually need to divide by S squared, remember? Because we're going from the big one to the little one. So boom. And our answer here is going to be 16.875, or as a fraction, 135 over 8. All right. I've got another example for you. This one has a little bit of a twist to it though. So at the surface level, no pun intended, it looks pretty straightforward, right? They're giving us the surface area of one shape and the surface area of another, so I can just find my scale factor. So my big one is 1600, and then my smaller one is 64, and that's gonna equal my scale factor, right? So the confusing thing here is we're starting with area, meaning we're starting in the second dimension. So if we go ahead and figure out the scale factor between our two similar shapes, we're not getting the scale factor for the first dimension, we're getting the scale factor for the second dimension. And certainly what we could do is we could figure out what is this scale factor and then square root that in order to get the scale factor for the first dimension, right? So we could either say that S equals the square root of this stuff, or what I prefer to do is to say that S squared equals this stuff. But either way, we're going to get our same answer. Only thing is if you use S squared, they're going to want you to do a squiggly, because instead of defining S, you're actually having it solve for S. So you want to use your tilde here. And then from here, it's pretty straightforward, right? They're asking us the sum of the volumes, and it tells us that N's volume is 2,000. So you could say N equals 2,000. And remember, N is the bigger one, right? So to get M, we would take N divided by S to the third power, and then the volume of N is going to be 16. And then of course, it's not asking us for the volume of N, it's asking us for the sum of N and M. Obviously that would be 2,000 plus 16, so it'd be 2016. We could also be really lazy and say this is M, and then just do N plus M to get our answer here. What's really cool though is there's a shortcut. If we're going to square root our second dimension, that's the same thing as raising our scale factor to the 1/2, because remember, the 1/2 is the same thing as the square root. And then after we do that, if we're going to then cube it to get to the third dimension, we're going to essentially be raising it to the 3/1. So if we combine these two operations together, we get 1/2 times 3/1, which makes 3/2. So if you wanted to use the shortcut, once you get comfortable with it, going from the second dimension to the third dimension, you simply take that scale factor and raise it to the 3/2. We'll call this S for the scale factor that we want. And then we could just say 2,000 divided by S. Again, we're going to get 16. And then same dealio, 2,000 plus 16 is 2016. And then if you think about it, we can kind of do the same thing with if we started with our third dimension. If we started with the third dimension and we wanted to go back to the second dimension, we could raise it to the 2/3. So this is definitely going to handle these very specific types of area and volume questions, but there's a lot more to SAT geometry. So you're going to want to watch this video next to help fill in the gaps for other types of geometry questions that show up on the SAT.